we're going to look at solving percent change application problems. A percent change is a little bit different than the regular percent problems because we're talking about how much a quantity increased or decreased from its original value. So if you have a positive percent change, that means you had an increase in the total amount. You could also have a negative, which means you have a decrease in your total amount. So we can use the same formulas we were using before, ratio method or formula method, but now we make a small change. The part that was in those formulas or in the ratio is now reserved for the amount changed, and that's equal to your final value minus your initial value. Let's take a look at how some of these work. A pair of pants increased in price by $2.75. If this amounted to an increase of 11%, find the price of the article before the increase. So again, just like last time, we have to parse through this problem to find what are our knowns and unknowns. So we're looking for the percentage, the base, and the amount increased or decreased. So based on the first sentence, it says a pair of pants increased by $2.75. So that is our part. And then the percentage was given, and that was 11% of the base. So now we're looking for the total. What was the price before the increase? So if we set that up as 11 over 100 in the ratio method is equal to 2.75 over x, and x is the base. We're solving for x, so we'll multiply both sides by x. They cancel out on the right. And then we have 11x over 100 is equal to 2.75. So to cancel that fraction out on the left, we multiply by its reciprocal, 100 over 11. We get cancellation there. And so x is equal to 2.75 times 100 over 11. And using a calculator, you can evaluate that to 25. So $25 is the original price of the pants. By now, if you'd like to use the formula method yourself, please go ahead and do that. Our next example is the regular price of an item is $280. Find the percent of discount if the item is put on sale for $210. So our base in this question is the 280 because that's the regular total of the item. So it's put on sale for $210. So to calculate the decrease, we use the final minus initial value concept. So 210 minus 280 would give us a decrease of 70. And then we're looking for the percentage there. We're looking for the discount as a positive value, so that's why we don't have a negative 70 here. So let's do the ratio method here. So we have x over 100 is equal to 70 over 280. So solving for x, we multiply both sides by 100. And then you evaluate 70 times 100 divided by 280. Here's a prime factorization if you didn't use a calculator, and you can see what cancels out. We're just left with 5 times 5, which is, again, 25. Okay, we'll do one example by hand here. So a patient's systolic blood pressure was 135 in the morning. If it increased to 190 in the evening, what is the percent increase in the patient's systolic blood pressure? So it went from 135 to 190. So the change is equal to 190 minus 135. And that is a change of 55. So we're looking for the percent. So out of the two, the 135 here, because this was what it originally was, this is the base. So we're dealing with 55 as our part, 135 is the base, and we're looking for the percentage. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the formula method on this one. So we have the percent, which is x percent times 135 is equal to 55. So dividing both sides by 135, we get that x is equal to 40.7%.